I have some happy mail to share today and just some general mail and then some thoughts about zines. That's what's on my mind today. So let me start out by showing some of the stuff I've received in the mail. I'm going to show this again. I showed it on a live video recently, but in case you didn't see that one, then I want to show it again. I got several weeks ago this wonderful hand-carved stamp from Vicki Brown, and this was shortly after Carve December had ended. She did the carving for the Carve December thing, right, where you carve a little something every day. So she sent me this, and of course I was thrilled because yay, I get a hand-carved something, and yay, it's from Vicki. And I opened it up and I looked at it just like this, and I went, huh. Due date, D-U-E-D-A-T-E, due date. What in the heck am I going to do with that? And it didn't register to me at the time that I was looking at it in two different directions, completely wrong. And not only that, but it was upside down, because it just hit me. It just looked so exactly like due date. And I actually sat here and fretted over how I was going to thank her for this stamp that I had absolutely no use for at all, didn't even understand it. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to focus on the carving because the carving's lovely. It really is. So I'm going to be all about the carving as I gush over this completely useless stamp. And it wasn't until I actually stamped it out that I realized I was holding it wrong, and it says the end, and it's perfect. So yeah, I've already thanked Vicki, and she knows that that I thought her gift was useless because, you know, the first thing I had to do was tell her. But I really did thought it said due date, and I didn't know what to do. So it was a wonderful the end stamp, and this image was on some, I don't even know what I did there, but yeah, it may show up later in something. So thank you again, Vicki, for not only a wonderful piece of your art, but for unintentionally making me stress out and then crack up. Okay. Also from Vicki, I sent her a blank custom keeper to work her magic on, and boy did she ever. She painted it in that way that she has and sent it back, and it is amazing. No, you can't buy it. Before you ask, no. It is not for sale. If you want to commission artwork from Vicki, contact Vicki. I'll have her YouTube link in the video description. Yeah, so this is incredible. She used, I'm not really sure, acrylics, paint pens, maybe a little of both, permanent pens. Yeah, don't really know, but it's incredible. And she even did the inside. Look at that. She's just got skills out the wazoo. So this one's mine. It's the Traveler's Notebook size, and it is mine. Thank you very, very much, Vicki. And a huge thank you to Mary Abrams, who sent this super cute tag with these hearts on it. And this is all kind of metallic-y, so I don't know if it'll actually show up in the video. And then her fabulous little inchies. And it was totally unexpected. It came all wrapped up nice, and a note that said, thank you for visiting my live stream at the Mary Atelier. So, basically, you just watch the girl's live stream. She sends you fabulous art. I'm not saying she does that every time, but who knew? Who even knew that she would do, who knew that could be a thing? What a cool idea. To watch a live stream. You know, I'm thinking that would be fun to do, like at the very end after like a 3-hour live stream, to send something to the people who were there that whole time. That would be cool. Not that I'm going to do that anytime soon. I'm just saying it would be a cool thing. So thank you so very much, Mary, for these treasures. And another one, you may have seen pictures of this on Facebook or Instagram or other places, but I finally got them back in person. And I would like you to meet George and Stanley. These are my new BFFs, customized paintbrushes from Super Sculptor Amy Hucks. Okay, what this is, these are two kind of really sad paintbrushes I had that used to be some of my favorites. This one was one of my favorites. This one, I don't know, it got funky early on. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it kind of became unusable. And then Amy said, you know, when she baked the Sculpey, like the hair got even frizzier. So it's really kind of awesome now. Anyway, it was this kind of big paintbrush that I couldn't use because the bristles were gnarly, okay? And then this other one is just a little chip brush that had just gotten gross, and the brush, yeah, it was time to let it go. And I couldn't throw them out because I just can't throw stuff out. So Amy said, send me a couple of paintbrushes and I'll put faces on them. So I did. And I did want to send her these big ones because, you know, I could imagine trying to sculpt something on a little tiny little watercolor brush would be a pain. So I did her a solid and sent her some big ones. And oh my gosh, this is so incredible. Okay, look at little George's face here. He's got all kinds of texture going on. And he's got eyes, and his eyes are shiny, and look at his little teeth. And I like to just pet his tongue just because he has a tongue. I love him. So this one is George, and see, he's kind of green and he's got textured skin. Yeah, he is pretty much super awesome. And then this is Stanley. They told me their names as soon as I opened the box. I just took one look at them and went, George and Stanley. So that's how they got their names. Stanley has a much smoother complexion. Yeah, he moisturized over the years. And look at his little teeth. I rub his teeth. I don't know why I'm fascinated with their mouths, but I am. And then he's got these lovely eyes. And see, they wrap around the back, and they're polymer clay. They're baked on there, so they're not going to fall off or anything. I just love these. You know, you really should contact Amy about having her turn, you know, an old paintbrush into a mascot for your art room or a little muse. I want to make something to put them in, like a little, I don't know. The last thing I have to show is I got a birthday zine from Donna Joy. I'll move in a little bit for this one. And she is actually teaching a class for these at, I think it's Denton Scrap. I'll find information about that class and put it in the video description. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can learn from her how to create this fabulousness. So she's got this little collage belly band on there. And then she does this so well. She combines vintage pictures with, you know, really modern, bright colors. And, you know, because this is all really mixed media, bright colors, you know, typical looking thing. But then this vintage picture and the juxtaposition of those two just makes me so happy. She's always been so good at that, combining vintage and modern. So it says it's your birthday, and then she sews, so she did some stitching around it, and then each page is just, we'll wear our finest, eat popsicles, sing, take off our shoes, form a conga line, except Billy, he's always late. Until we're too pooped to party. I love these. And it's, I didn't finish my thought earlier. Each page is just that perfect combination of, you know, bright colors and mixed media techniques with these awesome vintage pictures. And look how well they work together. So I love, she's kind of just thumbs her nose at that everything vintage has to be brown or sepia. No, it doesn't. Make an awesome painty paper background and then put vintage pictures on it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So you can learn how to do this from her if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Or you can just, you know, study this real close and copy her, because it's okay. I give you permission on her behalf without asking her. Because I'm going to copy it. I mean, seriously, come on, who wouldn't? But this is super cool. And it's made in the, you know, traditional way, in the contemporary, I'll say, way that zines are made now, with the one piece of paper folded. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was what zines look like years ago. Let's back up. Okay, the first time that I had heard the term zine was probably in the early to mid 2000s. And at that time, what they were is a handmade, self-published magazine, hence zine, that different artists would make, and they offered subscriptions for them, just like you would a magazine. They were limited production, you know, so if they only made 150, they'd only handle 150 subscribers. And it usually wasn't a monthly thing, it was like every quarter or so. And I picked up a couple over the years back then, and I don't know what happened to them. I think maybe that I cut them up and used them, because that's what I do. But for whatever reason, I saved this one, and this wasn't the actual zine. This was the sample that you could get for just a couple of dollars, I think. You could send off for a sample to see what the zine was all about. And this one was a very popular one called The Gleaner. This was probably from about mid-2000s, 2005, 2007, something like that. And when if you subscribed to the actual zine, it would have been just like this, only full color, you know, printed out on nice paper, full color, and every issue would have lots of artwork for inspiration. Sometimes there would be an article or a tutorial, and the Gleaner was known especially for their inclusion. And then you'd open it up, you know, there would be the how to subscribe, where to subscribe, contact information, and there would be these different things like this in here. This is just a little, I don't even know what this is. The artist's source of creativity is within, and this talks something about Greek philosophy and all of that. So there's that, and of course this would have been all color and nice and glued to this page, okay, and then that would be the background page. And then over here, toile de jour, I don't know what that means. Toiles de jouy. Oh, look, get the pronunciation there. And this is all about toile and the history of toile prints, which, you know, would be that. And then she included this toile napkin for you to use, and I don't even know what this is. Oh, children's games. White figures are on red background. This has a yellow-green background. The children are playing on seesaws and in trees with bows and arrows. Oh, this is different toile prints and all about the scenery. Oh, this is super cool. I'm going to go back and reread this because I've forgotten all about that. And I'm fascinated by toile. I actually like it. I wonder why I did not, well, I know why I probably didn't subscribe, because they were not cheap. They were not like expensive, but you know, a little magazine like this could run back then probably $10 or $15, I would think. And yeah, I just, you know, I had rubber stamps to buy at that time, so I couldn't be bothered with spending on something like this. It's probably why I never subscribed, but they certainly were cool. Here we go. Okay. And the next page, there's a glassine pocket with all kinds of little ephemera. So I can't believe I haven't used these ephemera. Oh, there's all kinds. That's joss paper and some whatever that is, a piece of a pattern, a little thingy, some cigar bands, and the little Chinese Diwali. Very cool ephemera. And gleanings from artists. Oh, these must be the artist who maybe contributed to this. Yes, fellow subscribers have contributed ephemera for you to add to your collage art. Oh, that's a cool thing. See, I was sitting here thinking, okay, if I did this, boy, I could clean out my collage stash in no time, or my ephemera stash in no time, but man, you know, you could be wiped out instantly. But what a good idea to have subscribers contribute ephemera, and then you could include their, you know, back then it was like everyone was on AOL or something. But today you could include their social media links. That's a super cool idea. Okay, so you get that, and then this is another page. Yeah, I'm not going to take the time to read it. I really should have done that before I filmed, but I didn't. And then this would have been colorful and beautiful. So this is what zines are. And it was funny to me because everyone's making zines now. You know, these little one-page things, which I think is fabulous. And you ask, okay, what's a zine? Nobody really knows. And, which I think is so cool. We don't know what they are. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to make them, by gosh. I think that's great. But before the, you know, early mid-2000s, zines probably had a whole different incarnation that I don't even know about. But I do know that this is one version of an historical zine that now has turned into this. So I thought you just might find that interesting. I really think that someone needs to bring the subscription zine back. I think that would be really cool. Y'all need to think about that when you're wondering, what am I going to do with all these painty papers and backgrounds and stuff? Make a zine. You just make one original one, and then you photocopy it, you know, color photocopy. Then you have other people send you stuff to include in it so that you don't have to buy anything or wipe out your stash. And then you get people to subscribe. And this is great. If I had time, I would totally do this. I don't have time. Someone else needs to do that. And then contact me and I'll give you some inclusions for your zine. Okay, that is all I have. Thank you so very much to Mary and to Vicki and to Amy and to Donna. And I will just think about something else to ramble about later. You want a sneak peek? I'll give you a sneak. This is what I'm working on, and it's taken a lot longer than I thought. I'll give you a sneak peek into an upcoming video. Do not nag me about when that video is coming out. I'm doing the best I can. Okay. How cool is that? And this is just a prototype, but it's a little kind of junk journal with resin covers. That is just resin poured out, colored with alcohol inks, cut in half to make a journal cover, and then the whole thing was stitched together with a Coptic stitch. And this is really not hard. And the reason it's taken so long to do the video is because, you know, stuff's got to cure for 24 hours. So this is not instant gratification. It's, yeah, it's a anticipation builder. But I think this could be really cool. And I've not seen anyone make journal covers out of resin before. Maybe they have, I've just not found them yet. But I've been finding some really cool stuff made out of resin. But I think that this is just kind of a fun use for it. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. There's your sneak peek. I don't know when that'll be done. I'm doing the best I can, you know, getting it done. That is all I have for today. Due date.